What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm making a recipe that's a fan favorite at my restaurant in Atlanta, and my wife requested it. What better reason to make it than that? I'm going to show you how to make these delicious lamb chops with garlic noodles. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen.
The lamb is perfect.
I think the noodles by itself.
All right, people, first things first, we're going to go ahead and marinate our lamb. Now, if you're not a lamb lover, using a marinade is a great practice to get into because it'll cut through some of that gaminess flavor. It's not really gamey. That's just what lamb tastes like, but I understand why people say that because they're, probably thinking in their mind that it should taste like beef, but it's not. It's going to taste like lamb, and that is the lamb flavor. Now, if you don't like the lamb flavor that much, you can marinate it, and that'll get rid of some of that or mask it a bit. One of the best ways to do that is with citrus, something like a lemon or a lime or vinegar or buttermilk if you're going to fry them. I've been seeing that on the internet a lot, which is actually better than I thought it would be. So what we're going to go do is go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of olive oil and then some lemon juice and then a little lemon zest as well. So we'll get all of that in there, season it up, and then just let it hang out 30 minutes, an hour, something like that. Overnight even if you want to. And you have some delicious lamb. These are beautiful lamb chops I got from my local butcher. Shout out to them. You're not going to find those everywhere. So if you find some beautiful ones like this, they're going to be a little bit expensive, but hey, they'll be well worth it. Think of this like spending money on a filet mignon. Get some lemon zest in there too. And then we're using my lemon bay, which also has lemon peel in it. So we're covering our bases pretty well. As for the seasoning, you can use whatever you like. I have my all-purpose seasoning, lemon bay, and my new buttery garlic pepper. All flavors that pair nicely with what we're making today. Lemon and citrus in general goes nicely with lamb. You can use salt and pepper. Whatever seasoning you like on your red meat is, applicable here. All right, so next up, it's time to make the garlic noodle sauce, which is obviously one of the most important components of the dish. For that, we're gonna need about a half cup of brown sugar, a half cup of low sodium soy sauce, very important. Don't use the full sodium stuff. If you do, you're gonna need to reduce the amount that you use. We're also gonna go, if you do use the full sodium soy sauce, maybe cut it in half, but all of this stuff has a bit of sodium in it, so I like to use the reduced sodium for this recipe exclusively. Next up, we're going in with 2.5 tablespoons of oyster sauce and 5 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. You can eyeball it if you want to, or just break out your measurer. I'm gonna do a little bit of both. Next up, we're going in with 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. I'm going to just kind of eyeball this. This is going to add umami. If you're opposed to fish sauce, you can use something like Worcestershire sauce, worst word in the world sauce. Get that in there. And then a few dashes of sesame oil. Punch a little bit goes a long way. Maybe about a half a teaspoon or so. And break out the whisk, give that a mix to combine. Taste as you go, adjust the flavor, to your preference. We do garnish this with some red pepper flakes to kind of balance out the sweetness that you get from this. But this should be a umami bomb. Like, the flavor is incredible. If you haven't tried it yet, definitely worth your time. So once the sauce is prepped, it's time to go ahead and get the noodles boiling. For that, we just need a big pot. Salt the pasta water heavily. We're using thin spaghetti today, so we're going to drop that, cook that per package instructions. Meanwhile, it's time to prep our garlic. We're making garlic noodles. You need at least about 2 tablespoons of garlic. If for some reason you hate garlic and you're watching a video on garlic noodles, I got some questions, but I'm thankful that you're here either way. You can use as much or as little garlic as you want. For me, the sweet spot is about 1 tablespoon per serving. So I'm making 2 servings right now. So I'm using 2 tablespoons. Give it a nice dice. I do recommend using fresh garlic for this recipe. So we're gonna go ahead and dice this up. Next up, it's time to cook the lamb chops. Here we have a nice skillet. Mine, if you want one, you can get yours at mrmakeithappen.com. But any skillet will work. You want to be able to get a nice, good sear and color on the lamb. So we're going to go ahead and add in 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil to our skillet. Get it smoking hot and get the lamb chops in there. Get some beautiful color and crust on the lamb chops. Put them on this baking sheet and get them in a 400-degree oven and cook them until, you know, whatever temperature you like your lamb. I like mine about medium, so if you like it well done, you can cook it a little bit longer. If you want it medium rare, you can cook it a little less. All right, my friends, here we have 1 tablespoon of melted butter. To that, I'm gonna add about 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil or whatever oil you like. Avocado oil works well here too. The goal at this point is to work over medium heat. We're gonna toast that garlic and infuse that garlic flavor into the oil and butter. That's the goal, because now we're gonna add the pasta that we already cooked into that garlic infused oil, toss the pasta in that oil, and get that garlic flavor really permeating throughout the spaghetti. Then we're gonna add about 2 to 3 ounces of the sauce that we made, up to 4 if you want the noodles to be a little bit extra saucy. Toss the noodles in that, add a little Parmesan cheese, and then we're gonna plate that up with the lamb chops. Once the lamb chops are cooked about 75% of the way, I like to glaze them in this Japanese barbecue sauce, pop them back in the oven until the sauce caramelizes a bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and plate this up, a little Parmesan, a little red pepper flakes, and some chives. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. And now, my friends, it's time for the moment of truth. Find the lamb chop that you like. Let's go on for a bite. Get me a little garlic noodles on the side ready to go too. Why not? Can't go wrong. You can serve this with whatever protein you like. In my restaurant, we usually do it with lamb chops, short ribs, salmon. You can do it with crab, shrimp, whatever you like. Wow. Exclusively. Trying to cut this shit in half. I don't remember the 2.5 and 5. Next up, we're gonna.
I think the noodles by itself.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah, you perfect it.
Yeah.
Perfect ratio. Like, yeah, I can eat that by itself. Just straight noodle dish.
You can order it like that too.
Yeah.
Just no protein.